I'm gonna make you eat. Are you hungry?
Good Monday morning, everybody. Today is August 11th. You have me until Larry starts to feel a little bit better, but I will let him catch you up on all of that. I am beginning to feel better. I hope y'all are doing great. Good Monday morning. Let's see who's in the house today. And then we're going to talk all the carnivore things and all the struggles and some victories and all that good stuff. So hello, can you all hear me okay? Let's see. Sam's in the house. Liz, we got Joe, Papa Frank, Tammy, good morning. Fat Cat, D, Shellbell, we got Lisa, V Osborne, Gidget, good morning, good morning. Ryan, hey, how are you? Larry, yeah, he is, he's not feeling his best today. But I'm going to let him catch y'all up on that. Can you hear me okay? Y'all hear me? Let's see. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, good morning. Is my audio okay? Thumbs up. Morning, afternoon for us. 7 Seas Transport. Good morning. Well, audio's good. Thank you very much. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let us get into this. So does anybody happen to have anything great to report? I hopped on the scale today, and we'll get into that in a moment. I'm a little low. I'm sorry. Yeah, we've been having issues with our audio for quite some time. Maybe I'll just scoot up a little bit. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me now? You guys remember that from Verizon? Anyway, good morning. I hope y'all are doing great. Okay, audio's good. A little low on my side. Pardon me, I'm going to quick cough. Still getting rid of all this stuff. But I feel better. I just have a little bit of fluid left in my lungs, and it's clearing up. So far, so good. Looks like maybe I gave Larry everything that I had. I passed along to Larry. You know what they say, sharing is caring. Oh, perfect. Okay, awesome. It says, good morning. I did cook chuck roast longer, and it turned out perfect. Yep. Just let it go. I mean, we're taught, no more than medium rare. You got to cook a steak for only X amount of time, or a prime rib. You don't want to overcook it. Chuck roast is the opposite. Chuck roast needs time for it to be perfect. All right. King Neptune, good morning to you. It says, I'm worried about Larry. Sure seems like the struggle is real. Do you think he would be better to keto for a few months than slowly move back into carnivore? Yeah, you know what? He's doing good, honestly, considering I have all the keto foods in the house, and he says no. I'm really proud of him for that, because I couldn't. Well, no, I could. That's not true. That is not necessarily true. The state I'm in right now, I probably couldn't. And I've been thinking about doing a video. Well, I always think about doing videos. You guys, I have so many videos stored in here that I've started and I have not finished. And one of them is about that, is, the real struggle. You could be on top of the world one day and the next day, not so much. You're down at the bottom. But let's see. But he's doing okay. He's sick. And I gave him whatever I had, or he caught it from somewhere else. There's something going around, and it's not fun. But good morning to you, Miss Gretchen. I hope you're doing great. I'm still enjoying alternate day fasting, feeling really good. Awesome, Tammy. I'm so happy for you. Ryan, is that better now? Maybe I need to be this close to the microphone. Maybe I'll speak a little louder. One of my problems is I like to move around a lot. I'm just that way. I'm an animated person. So I'll move in closer to the microphone, and we'll see how that goes. We're all one step away from things changing. Isn't that the truth? That is so true. I mean, you're one decision away from a completely different outcome, right? I mean, take me, for example. I made a decision. Last year, Larry and I made that decision to go to that Italian restaurant. And it's just been the very, very slow snowball into things being completely different from where they were. Mindset's completely different. I wish I would have downloaded some pictures of where I was this time last year. I know a lot of you know, but just to do the side-by-side comparison, it's pretty startling, honestly. Okay. Good, Shelville. I'm glad you can hear me. Sam. Hello, Sam. Says, yes, I can finally say no more scallops after trying them on Saturday. I like that they are not spongy or chewy like calamari and shrimp, but they taste like fishy egg whites and are still briny. Interesting. See, I don't know. I have a completely different opinion on scallops. I love scallops. They're sweet. And it is about the cook. Just like with a steak, right? You don't want to overcook seafood, whether it's shrimp. Shrimp shouldn't be enclosed. It should be a nice little C for you. Or it shouldn't be a circle. It should be a nice C, and it's perfectly cooked. Scallops only need a few minutes, like maybe 7 tops. It depends on how you decide to cook them, because there's a million different ways to cook them, right? Liz says, tried your chuck roast yesterday. Error user and smoke alarm went crazy. Yeah, it'll do that. Almost ruined, but it ended up tasting great anyway. So yeah, that chuck roast. It's good stuff. All right, Gretchen has to say, I don't, as the pool and everyone was eating pizza, I brought Premier protein shakes because they were easy to keep in ice, and meat didn't sound good in Michigan's 94 degrees. Anyone use? So you took protein shakes. You had a gathering, some type of an event, like maybe a birthday party or something. You did great though. Good for you. If you're tired of the meat, a great substitute would be heavenly eggs or hard-boiled eggs. So thank you, Spread the Gospel. How are you? Fat Street Glider. What's wrong with Larry? Well, he's sick. He came down with a nasty virus. He's going to go ahead and I think he's going to do a video on it. So I don't want to tell you too much, and I'm going to let y'all, but it's not been great. I'll tell you that. It's not been great. And he's on the well, I guess he's still in the thick of it. Anyway, I don't want to say too much. But he's okay. Miss Connie K, hello. Happy Monday morning to you. Hi, Cassie. After a health scare, I am feeling great. Back on track and on my treadmill. Thank you and Larry for the videos. Good for you, Connie, getting on that treadmill. Man, that takes determination, right? It's no joke. So I don't know if I talked about this last. I might have. And if I talked about it the last time I did a live about the trampoline, I did. The rebounder, right? I bought one of those rebounders, and guess what? It's still in the box. Right along with all of the other things that I purchased to motivate me to get moving on a regular basis. I've always felt so good when I was working my body, when I was getting movement, whether it was walking or, maybe doing a little bit of strength training. I was never looking to get buff. I want my arms to look good. But yeah, it's so hard to get on that horse for me. And I'm not jealous. I'm happy for those. I wish I was one of those people that are out there running or out there walking, or people who go to the gym every day, or they make the effort to work out at home every day. I have all the tools here. So what is stopping me? There's some type of a roadblock going on in my brain. Always. There's always roadblocks in my brain. Aaron says 133 days carnivore-ish. Day 10, diet, pop, energy drinks came back, started slipping up, little pizza, wraps, not a lot, but enough to stall me. I have to be honest with myself. Results stall on me. Isn't that the truth? You think you can handle it. Just like I said, the meal, that one meal. 2 pounds away from triple digit weight loss, feeling great, looking great. My clothes were small. And yeah, we thought, hey, I can handle this now. I've been doing carnivore for what seemed like forever at the time. We can go out, enjoy a meal, and you're going to bounce right back on. Bounce right back into carnivore. It's not an issue, not a problem. Well, it didn't exactly happen that way. Now, I got back on, and I did fine. And then a little bit of stumble here. And then I started eating too many. I don't even know if it would be considered ketovore. Because, there were some little veg, right? But a lot of dairy. And somebody said to me once, why am I demonizing dairy? I'm not. I love dairy. But dairy is the great stall. It will halt you in your tracks. Now, maybe not everybody, but you can also overdo it. So instead of having like a little block of cheese or a little bite, like maybe a 1 ounce little cube of cheese, right? It doesn't stop there. And then you're adding heavy cream and cream cheese and cottage cheese, and you're trying the wraps and the chaffles and this and that. So I don't demonize dairy. I think it's something great to have. But if you can't regulate it, which is why a lot of us came to carnivore, is because we cannot regulate our food. We can't moderate anything. It's all or nothing. That's how I am, pretty much, for the most part. So we got some congratulations to Miss Tammy. Keep rocking out, Tammy. I have failed the alternate day fasting. I haven't ate any cheats, but to me, I have, because I ate a couple of days of veggies. I haven't eaten in over a year, gained 2 pounds. That's the only change. I think our fluids are constantly exchanging. You take fluid in, you expel it, right? And I don't know if it was the veggies, but if I hope you felt okay after it. I do, because being on carnivore and then introducing veggies, you could certainly experience some digestive discomfort. I know I have. So, Gretchen, I was at the pool in 94-degree heat, and everyone had pizza. I had protein shakes and ice. Not carnivore, but it was too hot for me. Anyone else use shakes? A lot of people do, actually. Yeah. And that I just want to say something, because I feel the same way about this. Your last sentence, you said not carnivore. Why do we always feel the need that we have to defend what we put in our bodies? In the real world, okay? Not carnivore land. I think carnivore is in this own little bubble. It's almost like extreme veganism. That's the way I'm beginning to feel about it. Not all across the board, but that statement right there. And I do it myself, and I see so many other people feel like they have to defend their choices. It's like, why? Because if you were to talk to your friends or your family members or anybody like that, if you were to talk to somebody else about your diet, you probably wouldn't feel the need to defend yourself. And that's really sad that that's where we're at. And a lot of people, yes, Rosie's in the room with me and she wants out. You came in here, girl. Anyway, it's just really sad that we feel the need to defend everything that we put in our mouth. And it's ridiculous. You don't have to do that in real life. But for whatever reason, in the era of digital technology and in a specific community, such as the carnivore community or even the proper human diet community, unless you label yourself as keto, you have to defend everything that you eat. Even there are hardcore keto people probably will give you crap about having that protein shake. Well, I'll tell you what, it's better than that pizza. And it's better than so many other things that you consume. So I think you're doing great, Mama. I think you did fantastic. Congratulations. Pizza. Don't put a pizza in front of me, especially if we're in Chicagoland. Are you kidding me? No way. It's hard to say no to that. Okay, Larry's in the house just talking about how he's not feeling well. I guess I'll highlight it because he did make it. Yeah, he's dealing with an ear infection. Nasty ear infection at that. Yeah, and he's right. It's been years since he's been this sick. I know we were just talking about that. It's like we don't get sick very often, and most recently, like, I don't know. It just seems like I've been getting sick. It's been 3 times since the beginning of this year. I've been sick. So, and I still have the nasal and the congestion in my chest, but other than that. Okay, moving on. Erin says, cheese is my weakness. 1 slice turns into 4 or 5. Isn't that the truth? I mean, there are some days that I could just say, no, don't need it, don't want it. But I just find myself more and more, especially since getting off carnivore and going on to Ketovore. I don't even know what I'm on anymore. I'm not counting or tracking or anything like that. I think I'm in diet aversion. I don't know what it is, because I know how great I felt. And I preach to other people about how great I felt, especially when I did the Lion Diet, especially when I gave up coffee and dairy. Never felt better. Why is it so hard to get back to that state? I don't know. The biggest reason for getting off carnivore, for those of you who aren't up to speed, was for me, I have perpetual loose stool. Always loose stool. And it's amplified on carnivore. It's really bad. Like, even waking me up in the middle of the night, I'd have to time my meals or be careful with how much fat intake I had. And it just, in the real world, without being put on some type of medication, which one of my doctors did try doing that, but I declined. They wanted to put me on something to help me with my stool. And I thought, well, now I'm dependent on another drug just to live life a little more normally. I'm like, well, just change up your diet. It's not exactly working out so well for me. But it's not working out terribly, because I can still fit into my smaller clothes. I have a bag of clothes. I'm going to have to show y'all one day. The bag of clothes that I went through yesterday. I'm like, I just got rid of so many clothes that are tight. Tammy, let's see. Liz, here we go. We're talking about that exercise, right? Find exercise hard to be consistent with, but since putting my rebounder in the middle of my family floor, I find I jump on it for 5 to 10 minutes at a time or more often. And I think that's perfect. I mean, I think that's what a lot of these exercise gurus say, just you don't need to go for hours on end. The 5 to 10 minute increments should probably be pretty good. But we're all individual, right? We're all a little bit different. So good on you, Liz. I know I still have to get mine out of the box. And I figured if it is sitting in the way, in my walking path, that I'll be able to hop on that bad boy pretty soon. And Tammy's just letting us all know, just to be clear, I am Ketovore. Yep. Okay. Oh, Gretchen. Stupid smartphones, right? They're not that smart, because I always have this issue. The certain words for, F-O-R, and of is always if. My big fat thumbs get in the way. So of is if, for is fur, F-I-R. And you would think that after correcting it so many times that this smart technology would, get hip to that. Apparently not. Spell check is messing up my sentences. Thank you for doing the meeting today with us. I'm using my weights and walking on my cubby sit-down elliptical and watching. Good workout and motivation. Good on you, Gretchen. That's awesome. Shell Bell. Yeah, I don't feel my best. Oh, okay. We're going back to the veg. Yeah, I don't feel my best and my stomach hurt, which hasn't happened during my journey. But it was a test, and yeah, well, it's not for me. I'm really okay with that. Well, good on you. That's an amazing attitude to have. Like I said, I wish I could be in that mindset again. I know it's up to me. I need to do it. But just getting to the point of actually doing it just seems like I'm climbing up a Mount Everest here, Why and how? Papa Frank, I'm not all or nothing. I can eat a chocolate chip cookie with butter. Well, at least you get the butter in there, right? Or is it baked with butter? King Neptune. Cult-like opinions when it comes to carnivore. Heck, if you're meat-based and your weight is dropping, who gives a rat's behind? Yeah, I agree. Apparently, a lot of people do. because she felt the need to defend herself. I feel the need to defend myself. And anytime I say I'm going to eat something, I've got screenshots of comments. That's not carnivore. That's my favorite one. No, it's not. Worry about yourself now. Shell Bell. I still have a nasty cold for 2 weeks now. Larry, praying for you and many others. Yeah, sickness is nasty. And I just hear people all around, especially when you work with the public. People, they'll go out, whether they're sick or not. They don't care. They don't care. Coughing all over you, spreading their germs. Aaron, yeah. I have the same problem with stool on carnivore. It sucks. It really does. Now, somebody had mentioned Kent Carnivore. I believe I know of him, but I don't know his story. Somebody referred me to his channel to check out, which I still haven't, that he does it. And I believe he also had colon cancer like me. So he's missing, anytime you have one tiny incision done or you lose a gallbladder or something, whatever, digestive issues, as soon as you have one, that's it. No matter how minor or how major, you're always going to have issues with the plumbing, And yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. And that was why I got off it. Like, I cannot do this and perform my job at the same time. So one of them's got to go. And it certainly has helped. We're talking big time. It has helped. So cheese is another one. That was the thing. It's like I could stay carnivore and eat a lot of cheese, but now I would be constipated. And boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, I've had some constipation like I never experienced before in my life. It's maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago, somewhere around there, shortly, or maybe it was just before. I don't know. My gosh, we're in almost middle of August. Where has this year gone? I had the worst constipation. Never experienced anything like that in my life. I really thought I was going to blow out my rectum. I mean, I know it's TMI by straining so hard to get this. It was, anyway, TMI. I know. It was awful. It was awful. So I'm just trying. Yep, agree. Cheese and yogurt, the strongest carnivore weakness for me. I can only imagine cream, but thanks to Cassie and Larry's many videos, I highly recommend if y'all get the urge on how heavy cream is. Yeah, it poisonous, right? The carrageenan, for sure. Gellan gum is okay. There are a handful of companies that make heavy cream, farms, I guess you could say, that make heavy cream, and other than the Gellan gum, there's nothing else in it, and that is so much better for you. Carrageenan really scares me though. What, Rosie? Rosie says hi. What, Rosie? We're going to have a little conversation. I think it's just the year of sick. I've had flu twice this year, UTI, and a sty. I'm falling apart. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're right. I've got my conspiracy theories. I do. I'm not going to get into them, but I got my theories. Liz, I miss soda. I'm trying to stay away from artificial sweeteners. I found putting a drop of peppermint extract in my water has helped me with the transition. Well, good for you. So I'm curious. I've seen this word pop around quite a bit, is the artificial sweeteners. What do you consider artificial? Are we talking like lab created stuff like aspartame, or what's a saccharin? That's another one, right? Yeah. So I'm just curious. I'm not ripping anybody. I promise. I just purely want to know, because I don't believe that stevia is artificial. It's a plant. In fact, my very good friend Bethany, she has the most amazing garden. Everything that she makes, everything that she grows, it's when you talk about organic, it is fully organic. She doesn't spray them with anything. These are heirloom seeds. If she loses her crop, she loses her crop to bugs and pests and whatnot. She does what she can to try and keep them away. Rosie, she's trying to get out. But yeah. Anyway, she grew stevia. I'm like, I've never tried it. She gave me a fresh leaf. It's so good. Oh my gosh. And sweet. That girl, she knows what she's doing. I told her, I said, you need to start marketing your stuff because people are looking for that. People are looking. When I met up with my farmer who has the eggs, he also grows tomatoes and zucchinis. And, you know, I said, so are these organic? We had a conversation one day. He said, yeah. I said, so there's no pesticides or herbicides or anything like that on them. He goes, no, I have to use that. I'm like, okay. He goes, you know, that's the most request that I have is, you know, totally chemical free produce. I'm like, well, there you go. And that's why, folks, I believe the plants are trying to kill you. I don't think it's the plant itself. They do have defense mechanisms, and I don't think that that's all you should be consuming. But I'm not the educated one like Chafee. I'm just, you know, after doing my own little research here, I'm like, well, oh my gosh, you know. We talked about this last week, didn't we? With like Chris beat cancer. He juices. He's vegan. He and I, you know, I think he's been cancer-free longer than I have. He's a very smart man. Okay, yes, Donna. Aldi has the Gelen Gum cream at a reasonable price. And Lidl, if you have a Lidl, it's Aldi on steroids, kind of. I think they're pretty equal. But yeah, you can find it. And it's like $5 for the quart. Yep, the Friendly Farms. Yep, and it's A-okay. Let's see. D, good morning. D says, I was watching a video where the doctor told a very overweight person with every excuse in the book that it was his body and his responsibility. That really resonated with me. And that's the truth. Ultimately, we're responsible for ourselves. We cannot put the blame on anybody else. If we're having a weak moment, that's an internal problem, right? I mean, let's say, for example, little Larry brought home a cake or something like that. And if I didn't tell him to put it in his room, which that's where we're at, you know, he can't leave something like that sitting out, especially some of my favorite foods. You know, I love pastries and cakes and things like that. I love baked goods, especially scratch made. And that has all the good ingredients, the butter and whatnot. My body loves it an awful lot. And, but anyway, my point is if little Larry brought it home and I didn't tell him to bring it in the room, said, no, go ahead and leave it out on the counter. I know exactly what I would do. I know what I would do. So I'm responsible for my own actions, or just tell him not to bring it in the house at all. But, yeah. Owen, fiber, so good for us, you know, and you're going to get some pushback on this. But I know at least with me and my situation, it's very good for me. I have a less worrisome life, you know, because if you've never, we're going to say this, TMI, and I know you all probably don't want to hear this. If you've ever pooped your pants and you've done it more than once, and you will know. Now, for a lot of people, they're on carnivore and they have the runny stool, as Joe Rogan would put it, you know, explosive diarrhea. And then it goes away. You know, Dr. Berry says for some people it's 2 weeks, for some people it's 2 months. I waited years and years and years. And to me, I suffered in that way. It's embarrassing. You know, having to take a change of panties with you, places that you go, and always having to wear a liner, or being woken up in the middle of the night only to realize that you have to clean yourself up, take a shower. You know, that's not fun. And that's not life to me. So that was it. You know, it's like, I can't do this anymore. Okay. I think this is the answer to my question. Anything that's sweet on my tongue, anything added that's sweet on my tongue. Are you talking about, like the artificial sweeteners? I mean, that it's not, yeah, the fresh stevia is awesome. You're right. It's Denise. I'm telling you, I was absolutely blown away with how good that stuff was. It's like, oh my gosh, that stuff's amazing. You have to try monk fruit extract powder. So that's one thing. I've had the monk fruit. I think it was the Lancanto. Is that right? I tried that before. Now, this was years ago. But I was looking again recently, and I noticed that I think it has xylitol in it. So it's like a mix between the monk fruit sweetener and the xylitol. Where could I find? And I haven't really done my research because obviously, otherwise I would probably know the answer to this question. Where can I find pure monk fruit extract? Sam has a question. On my quest of trying to find seafood I like, should I try lobster crab? And do you think I would prefer one or the other? P.S. Well, we'll take your advice and try cod. Hope it's lake. Oh, I love lake perch. Love it. My dad, because we grew up off, maybe 4 miles, 5 miles off of Lake Michigan, and we had a boat. But my dad was always fishing, and lake perch was always the brought home fish. I guess you could say the fish he brought home. That was always his catch. It was lake perch, and as a kid, I didn't like it. Now I love it. I love cod and walleye. Walleye is really good too. But if you like lake perch, I think you'll appreciate cod. It's gonna be a little flakier, I think. But lobster and crab taste amazing. Crab is a lot of work, and lobster is very expensive. I don't know if it's worth the cost anymore, to be honest with you. But hey, you know what? If you want to try it, that's a tough one. So if somebody said, Cass, okay, money was not an issue, you could have crab or you could have lobster. I would say king crab all day long, with lobster being a close second, because there is a big difference between king crab and snow crab. But king crab is very pricey. Very pricey. But try some lobster, because then you don't have to worry about cracking open those legs. And yeah, lobster's awesome. And I would broil it. I wouldn't boil it. Put that bad boy under the broiler with some butter. Yeah. Smiling for you says, agree. We have to have honest conversations with ourselves. I think that goes back to, what we're saying, like with the cake and everything. The Carnivore Collective. It's crazy how fiber is different for all of us. Me, fiber equals bad news. Right. Exactly. We're all different. That's why this whole carnivore cult mentality, it's like, okay, you guys might be in the same bubble. Some of those people are in the same bubble, with the mindset, but not everybody's the same. We're all bringing different things to the table, different experiences. Some of us have only been overweight for, maybe a few years, and, in your 30s or whatever, you gained it, or after the kids, and you put on 20, 30 pounds. And when there are others of us, like myself, I was probably 125 pounds overweight, because I've never got down to my goal weight or my ideal weight, because I really don't know what that is, because I've not reached that point. My initial goal was 160 and then take it from there. But yeah, we're all different points in our journey, and we have different health issues, So what's good for you isn't good for me, right? You know that, mama or sir, the Carnivore Collective, or both of you. Oh, if you are in Texas and you get a Volman's heavy cream, all it is pasteurized heavy cream. Comes in a glass bottle. I love that. And you pay a deposit fee and then get it back when you return the bottles. Oh, Denise, what a blessing that is. Seriously. Because for a good majority of the country, like most of us, we cannot get good quality milk products. Now, we have a dairy farm 10, 20 miles away, and their milk is pretty good. We used to sell it at the butcher shop when I worked there. But that's all they sold was milk. I called them up and tried getting some heavy cream, and they save that for their other dairy products, because they make butter as well. So their milk and their butter is really good. Everything else, not so much. They sell cheese, but it's not theirs. Anyway. Yeah, Aaron. I'm right there with you. This close. I was this close. I hadn't been that light since high school. I hadn't felt that good. And then, it was one meal, and it just kind of snowballed. I did good for a few months, but then it just started creeping up. But I really think what the kicker was getting this job. It's like, okay, I cannot continue to do carnivore. I cannot continue to have these disaster pants at work. So I'm like, okay, Ketovore seems like a better option. I can have avocado. Avocado has fiber. I'll have some peanut butter, natural peanut butter, peanuts and salt only, right? There's good fiber in that, good fat and good fiber. And it certainly does help. And yeah, but I feel like I did sabotage myself. And then like the last few months, oh my gosh. My goodness. Okay. Okay. Denise, thank you for answering that. They have to bind the monk fruit to xylitol. I forget why, but yes, look it up. And I will. I will after the stream for sure. Better but low. Are we talking about the volume? That's why I'm so close. Oh, okay. I got Pure Monk on Amazon. Good to know. See, this is amazing. This is one thing that I truly love about these live streams. We can just hash it out, right? We can talk it out. We're bouncing ideas off each other. And I think that's great. Fresh catfish is my favorite. Yeah, there's something about fresh fish. They can tell you that it's fresh in the store all day long. And unless you're getting your fish from like a coastal town, forget it. When I worked at the butcher shop, we carried Faroe Island salmon. Now, it's still wild salmon, considered wild, okay, under the guidelines of what's considered wild anymore. But so they were raised in the ocean, but they had these like pens, these huge pens, right? And their diet was wild. However, the fish, you know, it's in the North Atlantic. It's off the shore of Scotland, I think. And this fish, by the time it reached the butcher shop in South Carolina, this fish is old. There was a documentary too on Netflix about that time, and just talking about it, you know, you shouldn't be eating that fish. I'm real worried about like getting fish if I haven't caught it and I don't fish. So there's that. But I don't like it. My dad, he still goes fishing, and well, he'll make fish sometimes, but yeah, anyway, fishy. It's fishy. I like crab more. Okay, yeah, I see that. More flavor. Lobster, I need to put too much butter on it. Crab, I can eat it as is. You know what? I think you might be right. And I think a lot of that too is the salt factor. So, I mean, almost every time you go to the store to buy crab, I mean, that crab is already red. So it's already been cooked. It's been sitting in salt. It's very salty, right? Where lobster is a little bit different, but I see what you're saying. I love them both. It was really hard to answer that question. That's why I was like, king crab all day long, twice on Sunday. Okay. So Devin wants to know, why are we calling this a sugar carb addiction? It's a food. No one is addicted to eating straight sugar packets. Most food addiction is processed food that is high fat and high sugar. And I think that's the double danger, is the sugar and the fat together. And that's why people, you know, they get sick. But it is. And so no, nobody's eating straight sugar packs, but there used to be a time when I would have a cup of coffee like this. Let me get it in frame. A cup of coffee like this, and I take that, you know, those big sugar shakers that you'd find like at the restaurant or whatever, and I'm just pouring sugar in there because I wouldn't drink coffee any other way. Still pouring, and then by the time I'm done with my coffee, there's this much sugar sitting on the bottom, but boy, oh boy, was that coffee sweet. Same thing with my Cheerios. My parents didn't buy a lot of the sugary cereal. We didn't have like Fruit Loops or Lucky Charms or anything like that. It was kind of rare. So it was always just plain Cheerios. Well, again, with the sugar on the bottom, everything needed to be sweet. So, I mean, I wasn't eating straight sugar packs. Well, I was just eating it with other foods. But yeah, and the processed food, well, that's obviously no good. But it's a sugar addiction. I mean, basically, almost everything is sugar, right? Hey, Dean, how you doing? I'm glad you're here. And Larry is beginning to feel better. He's going to do a video on this, I believe, and catch y'all up exactly what's going on with him. So, and I'm sorry if I like stop mid sentence. I'm also reading comments. Yeah. So I'm a mama. Hi, Sally. Nice to meet you. Okay. Joseph. You've been with us a long time. Hello. He says, hi from Texas. I'm glad to see you here. Yeah, I'm really glad you're here. I hope you're doing well. I know Joseph is a pastor, and I remember this. I think this was last year. He's on the struggle bus like so many of us, right? And he is always faced with the candy dishes, right, outside of his office door every time he'd have to walk past it. Not only does he have to look at it, but if you're anything like me, you can smell that candy. You know what it smells like. And that's something that, he would have to deal with. And that's not good. I hope you're doing great now. I'm really glad to see you. Fat Pat. I got a Q. You probably answered this one like 100 times over, but I like to hear it again. Frozen chuck roast straight from the freezer into crock pot on low. Good idea. Will it cook evenly? I don't know. I used to use my crock pot pretty exclusively. Pretty much the only thing I use it for now, other than like transporting foods, like if we're going to an event, it's great to keep food hot, or to make my tallow. But I mean, you can try it. I don't know. Have you tried? And you don't need cast iron. Let me just make that very clear. You don't need cast iron to make the chuck roast in the oven, to braise it. You can do it in a glass pan. You can do it in metal, whatever you want, as long as it's oven safe. I wouldn't recommend. I know you can do that in an air fryer. You can cook things straight from the freezer. I think if you take it straight out of the freezer, it's going to take a really long time to cook. I recommend letting it thaw first. And then try the chuck roast method that I shared with all of y'all a few years back. I promise it'll change your world. Papa Frank, I started gaining weight in the first grade. Mom's side was Italian, so lots of pasta and fresh yeast rolls and a lot of processed junk foods. Yeah, Larry and I, we were talking about this today. I had to drop off my car, so we were in the car together. And then we're driving past, they're putting in a Wendy's in our town. It's like, gosh, we were talking about this last week on the live stream too. Every town you go into, how many fast food restaurants are there? And as a child, when you were a kid, did you go out to eat a lot? Did you hit up the fast food for every meal? Or 7-Eleven? I mean, how many gas stations? You look at these QTs, and I don't know if you got Spinks where you're by, but 7-Eleven, same thing. I mean, they got the roller dogs and everything that's terrible, readily available. And a lot of these gas stations, they're open 24/7. So if you want to go get a little snack, get a snack. They have anything you want. The junk food in bags, or hot foods that are already prepared, or if you want to go grab some donuts or whatever, yeah, I don't know. I think we've just become a world, at least a country, because I can't speak for the rest of the world, of convenience. And it's not good. It's not good. Because we're not good. We're a very, very sick country. And it's a very slow, agonizing decline for us. So that's carnivore, proper human diet, ketovore. That's why we're here. And too many of us know the truth about what they're doing to the food. And here's what's so crazy about that, right? I mean, I was so sick 9 years ago, really sick. And, I went back to my old ways more than once, more than I should have. And I don't know. It just goes to show that addiction to food, it is a food addiction. Whether it's been created or if it's something like maybe a gene mutation or something like that. I really don't know. Or if it's just all mental, right? But it's hard. It's very, very difficult. Yeah. So we're talking about the crab again. Yes, I will try, but only on special occasions. Yeah. I don't recall ever having Dungeness crab. Yeah, the Maryland folks, they do like their blue crab. Maybe they're biased because they think that their crab cakes are the best, and I guess they're pretty good. But yeah, king crab. There's a reason it's called king crab, not just his size. The flavor is big too. Joseph says, I've been heavy since high school, really packed on the weight in the following years. It seems so hard to turn things around. It, and it is. It is. I think the odds are definitely stacked against us. There are people in white lab coats in labs that their only job is to make sure that people become addicted to their food, to their product. And then Big Pharma's right there to swoop in and help us out, whenever we're really sick. They got all the drugs for us. So, yeah, it's a setup. It's a setup. Luz. Hi, Luz. How are you, Mama? I hope you're doing great. Yep. Bella Brat for you. Oh, she's answering Aaron. Okay. Well, I'm going to read it anyway because I pulled it up. Aaron. Me too. I hit 200 pounds and then I had one lax month in Sabotage City after that. I'm now 268 and working on my way back onto the wagon. Boy, oh boy, that wagon, it goes too fast sometimes, doesn't it? Gosh, I mean, you're trying to catch up to it. You're running behind this wagon and it just seems to pick up speed sometimes. It's not easy. And if you know, you know. If you don't, well, I'm glad that you don't know what that struggle is all about. Mandy, hello. Hi, Cassie Dolls. Anybody else get low sound, difficult to hear? Oh, yeah, that's an issue we've been having. That's why I'm so close to the microphone. My lips are even touching it. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to figure out something else. I don't know. Larry's going to have to play around with it. Yeah. It says, wife bought fresh shrimp from Savannah straight off the boat. Missouri has no oceans. Right. And I've gotten fresh shrimp from Beaufort County. And it was absolutely amazing. It was the best shrimp that I've ever had. Deb Hammer, hello. Deb says, I've had the craps problem too. When I started out, IBSD and no gallbladder. This year, 3, and finally it seems to be correcting itself. Hated that having to take a change with me too, but now it's better. Good. I'm happy for you, Deb. I really am, because that's just awful, especially for women. It's terrible. Not trying to diminish or discount anything that a man goes through, but it's pretty bad. Okay. Denise, Mama 4. I hit 189 and then went through a bunch of stressful events and started eating sad. Gained back to 230. Been doing 75 hard challenge, the Christian version, with Ketovore and diet and walking, jogging, down to 219. Yay, good for you. Oh, that says 230, not 238. Good for you. That's awesome. Yeah. I'm clocking in at 228 today. Just letting you know. Well, hi, Ellen. Cassie, I was behind a gal fixing her coffee this morning. 7 packets of sugar and 6 flavored creamers in a 12-ounce coffee. Have you seen the viral videos they put out about Dunkin' Donuts and how much sugar is in like one of their pumpkin spice lattes, right? It's like a dozen donuts worth of sugar. A dozen glazed donuts worth of sugar in 1 cup of coffee. I use that term very loosely. That's what they call it, but I don't even know. It's probably a concentrated, it makes me sick. Have you ever seen like concentrated liquid coffee? It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Yeah, it's sad, isn't it? And I know for me anyway, I thought that was normal. A lot of people, they just think that's normal and it's okay. So I don't know. Gross. Debbie DeShong. Oh, Waukesha. Or Waukesha, Wisconsin. Well, I'm glad you're here. You're right on time. Hey, Joseph. There we go. I finally Found the strength to avoid the candy dish. Good for you. Keep saying no. Keep saying no. Yep. Oh my goodness. Challenge idea. 40 pounds in 4 months. Any diet you like. No. It wouldn't work for me. Because when I was very strict, BBBE and everything, it took me, 4.5 months and I lost 50 pounds. Man, I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm just not there. I'm not in that headspace, you know? I mean, I really wish that I could be more encouraging to you in that way, because I don't know where my head is right now. I don't. And I'm trying and I pray about it. And I look to a lot of you for strength. I'm pretty much almost completely off of like YouTube, watching videos, or Instagram, again, watching videos, reels, other content creators. You know, there are so many out there who've had amazing success. And I look to them. I would look to them for inspiration. And I'm not. I think I'm just, the social media thing is just, to me, it's overkill. And, yeah. Anyway. Sam Sapphire. No worries. Oh, we're talking to Aaron. I can't afford the king crab or lobster either. The only reason I was able to try scallops at the fancy Disney restaurant is because my cast member friend had a coupon. Oh, very cool. Fancy. Yeah, you know, and I was missing him. He's always very happy to see me on, and I'm not seeing him. I hope he's okay too. No, so I think I'm a little bit behind. Yeah, by about 10 minutes. We never went out to eat when I was growing up. Mom cooked, but we had cereal and Pop-Tarts and lots of bread and sugar. Same, Frank. My mom, she wasn't the best cook. She had her moments, but yeah, she liked to make that hamburger helper, rice-a-roni. But still, all of that stuff, I think, is still slightly better than the fast food stuff. I saw a reel the other day, them pouring hot metal, like extremely hot metal, you know, where it's glowing orange over a McDonald's Big Mac or something like that. It wouldn't burn. You would think that it would just disintegrate this stuff, because that metal is like 1,000 degrees or something, or probably even more than that, some insane amount. And yeah. Yes, the Happy Meal. Happy Meals and other popular character toys to attract kids. Why hasn't our government done more to regulate? I know that they're lining their pockets, but my gosh, come on. How can you expect a country to run? And I'm so concerned about our youth. I mean, really, between the distraction of from digital technology, right? Between that distraction where they just simply cannot focus, to the food that they eat. I just, it hurts my heart in such a way. I don't know. I mean, I'm so proud of my daughter. I wish I could share this with you. She doesn't want her baby that's sweet, adorable, the cute. She's the cutest baby in the world. Let's just start with that. But I was so proud of her, because her very first food, other than, you know, she drinks breast milk, right? My daughter doesn't exactly breastfeed, but she pumps. And, but the baby's getting good nutrients, right? She's going to be a healthy little girl. And she did give her avocado. I think we talked about this last week, maybe. Avocado. So that was her first official solid food. You know, out of like almost like a pacifier that has holes in it. And they just, you know, they take it in very slowly. But she sent me a video 2 days ago. She gave that little baby a chunk of steak. So it was enough to fit in her hand and almost look like a popsicle, right? And the baby doesn't have teeth. So she was just gnawing on it, but she was getting in that good fat and getting that flavor of this steak. And I thought, that's it. I am so glad that my daughter finally, you know, that somebody heard my words. And she's treating it appropriately. We've talked about her diet, the baby's diet, and I'm like, you can't be feeding her that garbage, Holly. She's not going to have a shot. These kids don't have a shot. They're malnourished and their brains are just rotting in front of a screen, whether it's a phone, a TV, a computer, whatever. Their brains are rotting. And it's so sad. It's so sad. Yeah. Okay, Gretchen. I'm in Michigan, and you can drive the interstate to Florida and see fast food restaurants oh, yeah. It's as available and it's easy as a drug. Just pick any exit to get your fix. No kidding. And you're going to pretty much find all the same restaurants. All of them. It's absolutely terrible. Absolutely. We would go get fast food maybe once a month, maybe. And that was usually McDonald's, and it was usually a Happy Meal. And go out to eat at a restaurant was even rare. Yep. I love blue crab, Catherine says. I was born and raised in Southwest Louisiana. We always had crabs, crawfish, shrimp, fish, oysters, all the good stuff. But it's too expensive nowadays unless you catch it yourself. Isn't that the truth? Oh, hello, Michelle. Pardon me. Michelle says, new to carnivore, down 20 pounds in 2 months. I find the program very easy. Excuse me. And you're right about that. You're right about that, lady. Carnivore is easy. It is so easy. My advice for you, don't stop. Don't stop. You just go like a freight train and you don't stop. You don't slip up, not once, and it's going to be amazing. It is. There's no such thing as a cheat meal. I mean, there are very few people who can have a little something and go right back to it. Very few. Very few. And I almost wonder, because it could take time. It's almost like a ripple effect, right? It could take time if you do happen to have a off-plan meal. Let's not call it a cheat meal. An off-plan meal. It'll snowball. And it could be a very snowball. And it really depends on you. But congratulations. I'm glad you found carnivore. I'm glad you feel amazing. Just keep going. Just wait. You're going to feel incredible. You're going to just keep feeling better. That's the thing of it. You just keep feeling better. Yes, Joseph. I'd rather measure success by the way I feel instead of the scale. So true. So very true. Right, Frank? The challenge. 40 pounds in 4 months. Is that gain or lose? Heck yeah. Oh, that's so funny. I could just fast for 4 months. Yeah, your body might not like that too much. Well, hello, Talise. Talise says, I was down to 200 pounds in November. Went on vacation. And now I'm back to 260. And I'm going through menopause. And the weight is just not coming off this go around. And you're not the first person who has said that. It's different. It's like you really only have one shot. Let me go back to that, Michelle. You really only have one shot. Ask so many of those because almost everybody in here has slipped up. We've fallen. And it's more and more difficult with each and every slip or fall that you have. It's more and more difficult. Don't stop. Do not stop. And if you want to go to more of a ketovore lifestyle, I recommend it if that is your goal. Let's say you're even years down the road, do it very slowly. Very slowly. Only have a little bit and just be careful with what you choose. I'm very happy for you. I am because this is super exciting. I remember when I first started. And yes, I had a slip after when we started in October. And then by Christmas, the holidays rolled around. I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. We'll have pizza one day and then we'll get right back on. No. It doesn't work that way. But when I did find my groove, it was absolutely incredible. It was amazing. And I still think it's amazing. So good for you. And yeah, Talise, the menopause, oh my gosh. Lady, don't even smell food because I think you put on water weight, right? I think you gain just from smelling it, after a certain age and menopause and all that. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Isn't that the truth? Yes, Pam. This is what I'm talking about. It's sad that you have to defend yourself over eating berries. It's sad that you have to defend yourself over anything that you put in your mouth. You want to do whatever you want to do. It's your life, right? But why do we feel like we have to defend ourselves? Yes, Steve. I have always been obese. Then in the late 90s, I discovered Atkins and lost lots of weight while also eating lots of food, not calorie restricting. I was a size 6 and feeling good. There's a continuation. Then, while staying with my husband in the hospital, I made the decision one time to have a sandwich. I've been struggling to get back on track since that one slip in June of 2001. So yeah, it's very hard, and it keeps getting more and more difficult because these food companies keep getting smarter and smarter with their wording and just flying under the radar of regulations, how they can label things. They're very sneaky. So yeah, all the fast food restaurants are the illusion of choice. We don't have choice of food. We have choice of crap. So true. So true. Oh, Sam says, no worries, Cassie. I couldn't sustain BBBE without watching y'all's brown butter bites video and making them. Fixes my sweet tooth craving and so rich and satiating. Highly recommend and thank you. Well, I'm glad you find value in our channel. I really do, Sam. That is what keeps us going. It truly does. I've said it before. I put that video out last week talking about, I say this all the time. We started this channel for accountability. I got sick with cancer, couldn't stick with anything, not veganism, nothing. I tried Mediterranean. This is post-cancer, right? Because of course I've tried just about every other diet, Whole30, Mediterranean, and there was nothing that could stop me from overindulging. But it was carnivore. Even like with keto, I didn't give keto a fair shake, and I still haven't. Like when we first got on keto, shortly before discovering carnivore, I did great. I think it was like probably 5 months. I lost 52 pounds. I never had that type of weight loss in anything, and I never been able to stick with it. But then we went to a birthday party. Well, I can have one treat, right? Pizza. Completely derailed me. And I put on so much weight. And that's when I got to my top weight of 285. I mean, my top weight was 295, but that was years and years ago. But after losing weight and blah, 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 the last decade, I got up to 285. Absolutely miserable. My body was like, no, you cannot put on another pound. So then we went to carnivore. But my point is, I went to keto and I didn't give keto a fair shake. But we did Atkins in the 90s, and then, I got sick from that. I got, not from Atkins, my appendix ruptured. And it could have been, I don't know, because we really don't know why appendix rupture, right? Or you get appendicitis. You don't know why your appendix goes bad. We still don't know exactly why we have it, it's our little finger. But, yeah, what were we talking about? Sorry. But yeah, we were just talking about the Atkins. Oh, yeah, Atkins. I did marvelous with Atkins. And Atkins back then for Larry and I, now this was, probably 2015 when we got on it. So 10 years ago. And this was before all the recipes were so readily available. So we were just eating very basic foods. And now fast forward 10 years and it's carnivore, which is very similar to Atkins. Again, you're not counting calories or anything like that. And you're not restricting yourself. You're restricting food groups. But, yeah, and there's a lot more recipes now. And there's a lot more room for error than when I first started out. And then before I started discovering all of these recipes and then creating some of my own. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. Because even those carnivore recipes can certainly trigger you. And not even, let's say Ketovore, because a cloud bread cake, Kelly Hogan calls it oopsie cake, right? there's still room for error. If you want to keep it ketovore, you can add a little vanilla and you add some cinnamon to it or some other type of extract, a little stevia. You know what I mean? It's the first one that I made had absolutely zero sweetener, and it was okay. It was good, right? So for me to say that it was just okay, I still would go back another forkful. I eventually ended up having to throw it away. I'm like, if I don't throw this out, I'm going to eat this whole cake. And yeah, I did that a few more times. So it's not so much the food or even the ingredients. I believe, and not that I've been officially diagnosed with eating disorder, but I've got an eating disorder. I like to binge eat. I like to eat at night, And carnivore stopped that. It did, for the most part, with the exception of reintroducing, other familiar foods. Cake and breads and things like that. That's dangerous territory. It is. So if you're going to do carnivore, and unless you're in maintenance mode and you think you got everything on lockdown, I would just eat your meat. Just eat your meat. Eat your meat. You want a little seasoning? That's cool. Just make sure you know what's in those seasonings. This is tried and true advice from a carnivore who has slipped up and failed one too many times. But I've learned from those slip-ups. And I've learned that it's really hard to get back on that diet, food and liquid intake. It's very difficult to get back on it. Gretchen, yeah. I don't necessarily like weighing myself, and I find that when I do, I'm almost obsessive about it, and it's not good. It's really not, because that disappointment can leave a very negative feeling. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to jump off the wagon, but it does mean that, you're just obsessing, and you could be hard on yourself, and nobody needs that. We're hard enough on ourselves, and the world's hard enough on us, so we don't need any additional. I refuse to weigh myself. I go by how my clothes fit. Clothes don't lie. The scale destroys me mentally, and weight loss is a mental game. Absolutely amen to that. That is so very true. Yeah. Menopause is, to quote Larry, brutal. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Now, I'm not sure about many of you ladies. I decided not to put myself on any hormones. I'm trying to get out of big pharma. And I know that would give me so much relief, because the hot flashes, and it's funny. I could see almost like they're like a neon light, right? Sometimes it flickers on, sometimes that light's not on. And the hot flashes are sometimes, very tolerable, very minimal. But for the most part, yeah, they come on hard, they come on fast, and they are, in fact, brutal. And I get them fairly regularly. Like, I still get them, like, if they're in full swing and full force, every hour. But I'm not, as much as I'd like to get on some type of HRT, just, to alleviate some of my very unpleasant symptoms. Yeah, sorry, I'm reading comments again, but, yeah, I won't do it. I'm trying to get off what I'm on, which is the Synthroid. I'm trying to get off that, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I don't know. Atomic Paramecium. Hello, everybody, and thanks to Carnivore Quest for the channel. Hi, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. I'm glad you find value and you get something from our channel. And I always tell people, take what you need and leave the rest, right? And that's in any situation in life, and especially when it comes to your life, right? Take what you need and leave the rest. I'm also a carb addict, sigh, but mostly carnivore now. That's awesome. Yeah. Refined carbs, that is. I seem to tolerate lentils. Yeah, that's awesome. That's good. And we're talking about relating to something. Let's see if I can read it. I have thrown away bags of corn chips, ran water in them first, shake my head. Isn't that bad? Like if I were to buy something, what did I have? I was having a little too much of, and it may as well have been as bad as anything, it was ultra processed. I'm not going to lie. Maple syrup, sugar free. So it's not maple syrup, but the worst of the worst. I did have a little run of that. I was making plenty of chaffles with the syrup, right? And I ended up having to just open the bottle. I poured it out and, I swept my floor and poured stuff on top of it, right? I mean, that's what I have to do, or put some litter on top of it. That's how bad it is, because I would be the type of person, maybe not with syrup, that's sitting on garbage, but if I just threw something away, I would go back in that garbage. I would go garbage picking. I would. So yeah, I feel your pain on that one. And yes, it is so hard to get back on track. Michelle, I hope you're still in here and you're listening to this advice, from all of us who have been there, done that, felt invincible at one point. I know a lot of you have, right? Thinking, I'm never going back to that way of eating. I'll never do it again. Never say never. Because no matter how much of a high you're on one day, believe me, you can fall very hard. And the bigger they are, the harder they fall. That's what they say. Brenda! Sweet lady Brenda. I hope you're doing great. It's good to see you too. And I hope your beautiful family is doing well also. That's amazing. I'm way past menopause. I did not take hormones either. Yeah. There's there are times that I think, boy, just get on it. Just do it. You've been postmenopausal for 9 years, almost 9 years. The cancer surgery, they also took my tubes and ovaries because they were destroyed from the previous year of having the ruptured appendix, which exploded everywhere. And I honestly believe that they just didn't clean everything up. And that's it affected my tubes and ovaries, and it was awful. So when they went in to remove the tumor from my cancer, they saw that they weren't looking so good. And they removed them too. They were heavily infected and causing me a lot of discomfort. But yeah, anyway, that gave me a violent shove right into menopause. And I'll never forget my first hot flash. It was the following day. I was like, what the heck? It's like, I think my body was still in shock, But yeah, so being past menopause and the no hormones, I did try some natural things and it just didn't work for me. Oh, Sam, you need to look at my cooking playlist, okay? Now, this one is a little labor intensive. It is way better than any pork rind out there. If you want some crunch and you want something that's going to be more similar to, like, say, a tortilla chip, chicken chips, real simple stuff. I took some chicken breast, whipped it into a food processor, rolled it really thin, popped it in the oven. Now, it's a bit of a process. And it's not something that I recommend making batches and batches ahead of time. Make what you're going to eat, right? And that's it. But it takes a lot of time, but they are absolutely amazing. Amazing. So it's a short version, right? I think at the time shorts were still under a minute. So I showed you how to make chicken chips in less than a minute. So check it out. Go to my cooking playlist on our channel, and that's going to tell you what to do. Wife tells me when I'm hungry that I'm suffering from menopause. She really loves me. Right? Glad you mentioned that about the hormones. Love Dr. Barry, but that seems to be his go-to for menopausal issues. But I just can't go there. Plus, they are super expensive. Yeah, I've never looked into price or anything like that. I think another one of them is that I did a little bit of research, and I know that they can cause blood clots. Also, for our bones, it's really bad. So those hormones are just going to suck the calcium right out of your body, right out of your bones. They're going to take them from everywhere, and then you're going to be very frail when you're in your 80s and 90s. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't have a Maybe I do have a chip on my shoulder for Big Pharma. I think they've done more harm than good, and all they're doing, I don't know if this is the best thing, but they're extending people's lives, but people are still suffering because there's so many side effects with some of these drugs. And then you need a pill to alleviate those side effects, and then a pill to alleviate the side effects from the pill that you're taking to alleviate the side effects from the initial pill. You know what I mean? It's just this, it just keeps going. It trails and trails. Yes, take what you need and leave the rest. Brenda, you were the cheerleader for our walking challenge. I think that would be great. Maybe I need to do a walking challenge. I was thinking about that today when I made that 3-mile walk there and back. Okay. I've not done any more than that. I mean, not intentionally anyway, but I think that would be good. Maybe that's what I need to do so I can be accountable for myself, because I really want to move. Maybe start up a walking challenge. Fall is around the corner. I think fall is a better time to go walking than spring, because you've got all these great smells and you're not dealing with pollen and the colors in fall. Who doesn't love to hear the crunch of leaves under your feet when you're walking? That's one of my favorite things. Yeah, that's right. You got to run the water in the bags, because otherwise you're going to go in there and you're going to go garbage diving and you're going to eat that food. I hear ya. So, well, Cavewoman Diet. Well, hi. I'm glad you're here. We have been doing it Monday through Friday. We started a little bit later today because I had an appointment. I had to take my car in, but we decided to start a little bit later. And so Monday through Friday, I think he's been doing some lives. I'm here in place of Larry because he is not feeling well. I might be here tomorrow too. But we'll see. Maybe he'll be feeling well enough and he can join us. But he's not doing good, guys. Charles Davis, good morning. Another long-time subscriber. I think you've been with us almost since day one. And I'm so glad that you continue to support us, just by showing up. That's it. Just show up, guys. Give us a little thumbs up. Easy peasy. Watch our stuff. You don't ever need to give us a dime for anything, Yeah. Did I say chicken skin? Chicken chips. But there is a short on chicken skins. But yeah, like I said, go to my cooking playlist. A lot of my recipes are very simple. There are a few that are pretty complex and just a lot of steps and a lot of mess. But there's some really good, just simple recipes. Chicken skin. There's a breaded chicken skin short. These are shorts. I think that one's a little bit longer than the chicken chips. So the chicken chips and the chicken skins are both in there, and they're both delicious. The chicken chips, you really want to crunch, like a chip-like crunch, then you're going to want to go with those chicken chips. Ooh, pork rinds from the butcher. Now, we do have a flea market. There's a flea market nearby. It's about a 25-minute drive, but every time we go there, there's this booth. They have boiled peanuts. I think they make popcorn too, but they make pork rinds and they are amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yeah, here we go. Denise, I heard, haven't researched it myself, but bioidentical hormones don't have those side effects. Maybe not. This is the way I look at it. I am 9 years into menopause, 9 years into all of this. It's like, why would I start now? I'm not going to. La-ti-da. No, I have not tried the beef liver supplement. There's one for men and one for women. I don't supplement. I take nothing else. I've tried a handful of times. I think we tried the colostrum. And I had some great results, man. My nails were long and strong and my skin looked really good. I had some relief with my digestion. Some relief. But I never stayed on it long enough to, see if it would have completely cleared it up. And to me, it was very pricey. And we're talking about $100 a month for a supplement. I'm like, I couldn't bring myself to it. There are some things I'm pretty tight on, and other things I'm just like, yeah, I'll blow the cash on this. But yeah, and I'm really bad with taking stuff too. I mean, I barely can get in my thyroid medication every single day. I would love to pull up my medical profile right now because my doctor's like, have you been missing doses? Have you been? Yes, I do all the time. And it always seems right before my blood work. And then my numbers are elevated. And anyway, all right. Cave Woman Diet says day 41 for me on carnivore. I'm eating more chicken now. As high fat beef has given me terrible stomach pain. Wow, that's awful. Do you get loose stool? Is that accompanied with your the high fat? Because I think that's an issue for me. One time I ate way too much pork belly, and that was not good. I have been setting my alarm for every hour, and I get up and walk 3 to 5 minutes in the house. Works great when it's too warm or raining. That's awesome. Good for you. I'm not walking till Michigan cools down. I hear you. We have been pretty fortunate. We've had a thick layer of cloud coverage, and it's been rainy. And because my gosh, I even saw 106 on the temperature gauge. I mean, I think that's a real feel. 106 and 102 and 101. You know, I mean, it's always been in that general area. And it was 75 today. It's like a 30-degree difference. It's crazy. Yeah. I thought I was going to get on the Armour Thyroid back. It was right when COVID hit. And my doctor did not want to switch up medication because I'd been on this Synthroid for 20 years. So for me to just do a quick switch to Armour, it wasn't working out. And that's not what I meant to say. She didn't want to put me on it because of COVID, you know, it was like right when everything had happened, because you have to take multiple blood tests, and she just didn't want me in the building that often, I guess. And I just kind of let it go. And when you got insurance, great. When you don't, it's like, okay, maybe not. Maybe not. And I love chicken skin. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Check out the recipes. Check them out. Some of the most simple recipes are like the chuck roast and the chicken soup. And then you just take what you got. I actually have something else in the works. It's like chuck roast 2.0, everything that I've learned since making a million chuck roasts. And yeah. Right. Yeah. The complex recipes. I mean, like I said, I've got a few of them out there. They're very simple. 2-3 ingredients. It's amazing, especially if you've trained your palate, right? And I'm sorry. Again, I'm reading comments. But yeah, some of them are very simple. Very simple methods. Yeah, they can be a little involved, but you know, what recipe isn't? Let's see. Very cool. Very cool. You know, kind of talking amongst yourselves. Yeah. The wife was making menopause cracks in my 30s. Well, if you think about it, so then we also have, so we got menopause, menstruation. Why is it the male name is always in there? What was another one? There was another one. I can't think of it. If anybody else has it, just, throw it in there. Yeah, the high fat gives me awful pain. I think it was because I don't have a gallbladder. Yeah, I've heard somebody mention, and I don't know if this is true because I think that there would be a lot more cases, but I do know of somebody when she started on carnivore, Italian Gone Carnivore. I don't know if the gallbladder is similar to like the appendix. There's really no telling exactly why it works the way it does, or why it becomes diseased or infected or whatnot. But somebody had said that it's the high fat. And again, this isn't everybody. We're not all the same. So I believe that maybe all that fat, your body has to
absorb, I guess you can say, all that fat. It has to take it in and it has to distribute it, right? Whether it's getting rid of it or, sending it up to your brain for nutritional purposes or whatnot. You know what I mean? So I don't know, but I've heard about the gallbladder and coming infected because of all the high fat. So I don't know. Yeah, and so we're just talking about this. Oh, we're talking about the supplements, the ancestral. Wow, what a racket, right? Think about it though. I mean, it's still weight loss. This is still the weight loss and health gain industry. Carnivore is no exception. So they got your supplements, right? There so many supplements. I think there were pills for ketones to increase your ketones. I think that was such a joke. I never tried them, but yeah, I mean, so it's still a multi-billion-dollar industry, the weight loss industry. And it doesn't matter if you're on carnivore, keto. Oh my gosh, you've seen the keto snacks, right? I mean, but you can see they're jumping on the carnivore bandwagon too. And yeah, it is a racket. Yeah. Yeah, it's pricey. And there is a bit, just like quality. I think Armra is much more, it's a better quality product. But yeah, it's pricey. And $100 for a month, it's like, yeah, I do I really need long nails? I mean, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not dogging them. I love the company. I love the product, but I'm just not the type of person to stick with that, Okay, we're going to start wrapping things up. I think I'm going to go ahead and answer one more. We've been going almost an hour and a half here. So we've got 80 people on. I'm glad y'all are here. And we're just, talking things through. And again, bouncing ideas off of one another. And, you might have a spark of genius. It's like somebody had said something and it's like, oh, wow, okay, I didn't know that. Or, oh, I think I'm going to try that. So I think these lives are just so important, if not just for support, but for that too. You get some great ideas. I'm just going to read Denise. She's got a series of comments here. I'm just going to read them quickly, and then I think we're gonna wrap it up, guys. But gallbladder concentrates bile from the liver to help you break down your fats in your food. When we eat low fat, that concentrated bile has nothing to break down, form crystals in the gallbladder. Okay, so maybe some people, they were on low fat for a good portion of their lives because that was praised. Low fat, even though it was high sugar, low fat. I remember Entenmann's came out with these low fat cookies. And I'm like, oh, it's low fat. So I can eat however many. I would eat a whole box. The whole box. They were like the chocolate devil's food cookies. Ridiculous, right? Low fat, but high sugar. Can't believe that they even got away with that. Moving on. Then the more kids you have, if you are a woman and if you are older than 40 and overweight, it can cause more crystals. Crystals get stuck in the opening, cause pain. Sorry. Crystals get stuck in the opening, cause pain. If they get stuck too long, they, continuing, cause infection. Okay. Yeah, well, there you go. Interesting stuff. Thank you for sharing, Denise. You've had some really good information today, and I hope y'all take what you need and leave the rest. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, you guys. I love y'all, and I'm so thankful for each and every one of you, even keeping me going, even though I had some weight gain and some slippage here and there. I am going to get a video out because I really don't want to talk about it on a live stream. We can discuss it afterwards. I'll put out a video. I swear I keep saying I'm going to make it. And I don't, even though I probably got 5 videos in here that I started and I haven't finished since February. Anyway, I'm babbling again. Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stop reading the comments now because I could keep going. Hey, we could just make this a marathon and just go all day, right, folks? That would be fun, but I have things to do. And I really do need to shoot this video. But thank you, y'all. And I love y'all so much. And let's do it again tomorrow. What you think? Same bat time, same bat channel. And we can talk about, we can discuss, what we talked about here. Maybe talk about hormones or, the supplements, Anyway, y'all have a most wonderful rest of your day. Stay strong, my friends, and let's do it again. So until tomorrow, y'all be safe. And yeah, let's pray for each other. I think that'd be amazing. Let's just pray for each other. You don't have to do it right now. Do it in your closet or whatever. Pray for our community, the Carnivore Quest community, and everybody. Let's pray for the world, right? Because it's pretty wacky. But thank y'all for swinging by, and we'll talk more tomorrow. So until the next time, my beautiful, lovely family, remember, no sugar, no carbs, no cheating, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.